You just got the keys for your new house and you're so excited to move. However, moving can be exhausting, and the first 24 hours are crucial. Today, I'm going to show you what you should pack in an essentials box for the first 24 hours to help make your move less stressful and more memorable. My name is John D, and I'm a realtor in and around the Fort Wayne, Indiana area. And my family of five and I have moved a few times, not just across town, but also across the country twice. I'm going to show you right here what you're going to need. By the way, on this channel, I talk about all things real estate, everything from what's going on in Fort Wayne, what the housing prices are, how to make your house show ready, and not leave money on the table. So if you're interested in learning more about Fort Wayne or the real estate here, be sure to check out my other videos. Here is the box that you must have in the first 24 hours. By the way, make sure you watch to the end of the video because I have two items that do not fit in here, but are absolute game changers and involve everyone living in your home, making them feel important. I love the fact that this box has locking handles. You can pick this up at almost any store, but the fact that it is clear helps you know exactly what's inside of it at all times. Once you've unloaded this the first time, you can take this from one house to the other and refill it and bring it back with more of your important items, and you know exactly what's in here at all times. Now, item number one, toilet paper. This is so important to bring a pack of toilet paper so you have a roll for every bathroom in your house. I also recommend a roll of paper towel. You don't have room to bring all of your towels and things like that, so bring paper towel. There's always going to be messes and you need to dry your hands when you're at the new house. I also recommend buying new hand soap. You'll have one for each bathroom at the old house and some for the new house. But this way, you always have the hand soap so you can wash your hands at the new house when you're moving. In the kitchen, I would definitely recommend having some soap and a sponge. This way you can wipe down counters or the inside of the fridge or wherever else needs to be cleaned up. No reason to bring all the extra cleaners and things like that. It just takes up too much room. This is the first 24 hours and that's the most important, so focus on that. Now in your bathrooms, you could bring a couple hand towels, but this is good just so that you have these to help dry your hands instead of bringing a ton of paper towel. In the kitchen, I would also recommend bringing some cups so you have something to drink out of. You're probably going to be eating out or just whatever you bring in your cooler from the fridge, and you're going to want something to eat on. So I recommend bringing a good stack of paper plates as well as silverware. You're definitely going to need some of that. I wouldn't worry about anything else in the first 24 hours. After that, you can worry about finding the pots and the pans and things, but this will help you. And to help keep the hangry down, I would definitely recommend bringing some snacks, maybe crackers or protein bars. I would even recommend bringing your favorite tea or caffeinated beverage. So maybe it's an instant coffee or something like that. Maybe you find out where the nearest Starbucks or coffee shop is near your house so that you can have that first thing in the morning and keep the caffeine flowing as well as the food and snacks in between meals. Now remember, when you have takeout meals, sometimes you still have leftovers. So I recommend bringing some aluminum foil. This way you're not searching for Tupperware. You can just wrap it up in some foil. You can even make this into a makeshift cookie sheet to get you started if you want to reheat something in the oven. One thing I forgot to mention with the bathroom, you're going to want to bring some shampoo and conditioner. That way you have those in the main bathroom to start with for your first 24 hours. Now, a little story. My family and I had moved into a home and we were putting some furniture together, just the back of the sofa onto the recliner, and we had an issue. My husband got hurt and he was bleeding. and it was a geyser. Had the movers there and they were moving stuff into the house, but thankfully we were able to take care of it. We had a first aid kit. And one thing I recommend having in your first aid kit is, most women have these as sanitary pads. This soaks up a lot of liquid, and I definitely recommend having this. Don't forget a little bit of Tylenol or ibuprofen to have that on hand. But even if you just bring some Band-Aids, the sanitary pads and ibuprofen, another thing to maybe put in this, maybe it's just a large Ziploc for all these items, is your medication. So if you have medication that you guys take daily, put it in here so you have a central place to put this on the counter in the kitchen or someplace so that you know where all of your medication is and any first aid supplies that you need. I also recommend at least one charger. You're going to want to have this in the kitchen so that if someone needs to charge something, they can do it there. Another thing that we were always searching for and running out of was scissors. I definitely recommend 2 to 3 of these. We always had one in the kitchen, and if it was ever missing, we had major discussions about this. But I recommend having at least 2 to 3 so you can go open a box and put it back on the counter in the kitchen. So these are always good to have on hand. I also recommend a tape measure. You're always wanting to measure where you're putting things. Now, one thing that we did as a family to help make memories is taking the first day, right after you get keys, we would get a special takeout meal, bring it over to the house, and maybe put a sheet or a blanket on the floor, whatever we had handy. But we would bring in the measuring tape and walk around the house and eat in the living room maybe, or the dining area, and plan where we wanted to put things. Talk about what we liked about the house, what we were excited about, made memories as a family. And then the next day, that was moving day. But generally, this box came with us that day, and we just enjoyed ourselves. We soaked up the moment. This was a new, fresh start for us, and it was always exciting. So I encourage you to do something similar and see what works for you guys. Now, you have a tradition that you guys have from when you've moved into a new house. Comment it down below. I would love to know what those are. People are always looking for new things to do to create new memories in their new homes. Now, here's the last couple things that I definitely recommend bringing, and the 2 items that don't fit in this box. I recommend bringing either paper or a folder. This one is nice and bright so you know where to find it, but this has all those numbers that you need to know for the area. Maybe you've moved further across the states and you need to know the doctors in the area or the electrical company's numbers, the Wi-Fi company, the internet, all those things, the utilities, like I said, for trash, water, all of it. Keep it in a folder like this with extra paper. This way you can take pens. I always recommend bringing these. This way you can write down things that you need to get at the hardware store or the grocery store. You know it always happens, especially moving into a new home that you didn't think that you needed. And those are easy to find and make it a whole lot easier in the end. Now here's those 2 bonus items I was talking about. One is a tool bag. This just has the basic items. You might have a big toolbox, but I recommend a small tool bag. This is something that just has a hammer, a screwdriver, some screws, nails, so you could put up those important things. Maybe it's somewhere to hang your keys. But having a level and different little things like that are super, super helpful when you're moving into a house, but have this in a central location. You can keep this in the car or just move it straight into the garage, but it's nice to have a small one. This way you're not waiting on the big toolbox to get there and searching for all the things that you need. And the last item I recommend is a backpack or an overnight bag. Now, at the end of this video, you're going to see down in the description, I have a free printable for you that has everything that I've put in the box, as well as what goes in this bag. Everything from a towel for your first shower, a pair of shoes, maybe your child's lovey, or their favorite little toys. something that they want to bring from the new house and they don't want it to get lost in all the boxes, something that's important to them, as well as toothbrush, toothpaste, and 2 to 3 days worth of clothes. Just simple things. Maybe a few pairs of underwear, socks, and then 2 or 3 different shirts and a couple pairs of pants or shorts. I put all of this in the list for you so that you have it and you could print it out and have it handy. Now, if you want more tips about moving across the United States, I have an entire video talking about that. But if you have questions about real estate, be sure to text me. I would love to answer your questions.